Question 1. In light of recent developments in environmental policy, which of the following best explains why HFC refrigerants, though ozone-friendly, are still subject to regulatory control? They HFCs contribute to ozone formation at the ground level. HFCs have a high global warming potential. HFCs are flammable and pose immediate safety risks. HFCs corrode refrigeration system metals. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Where HFCs do not contain chlorine or bromine and therefore do not deplete ozone, they have significantly contributing to climate change. Under the Clean Air Act and the AIM Act, American Innovation and Manufacturing Act, EPA regulates HFCs to reduce their environmental impact. Their regulation aligns with Kigali Amendment goals, even though it is not yet ratified in all jurisdictions. See EPA Fact Sheet and HFC Facedown and Clean Air Act Section 608 for further reference. Question 2. When evaluating the merits of leak detection, is to tell suspects a charge loss in a high-pressure refrigeration system after a rapid rise in superheat and poor cooling, what is the best first step he should take? A. Recharge the system to full capacity and monitor. B. Evacuate the system immediately. C. Conduct an electronic leak check after isolating the system. D. Replace the expansion valve. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. Per EPA guidelines under 40 CFR Part 82 Subpart F, suspected leaks in high-pressure systems should be verified using EPA-approved leak detection methods, including electronic detectors. Charging without confirming the leak violates recovery and repair obligations, and unnecessary evacuation risks contamination. Superheat rise typically indicates undercharging due to leakage, not component failure. Question 3. Through the lens of refrigerant safety, what is the primary concern when mixing different refrigerant blends in a system without proper identification? A. The system may experience an increase in system capacity. B. It may invalidate the compressor warranty. C. It can alter pressure-temperature relationships and jeopardize system performance. D. Blended refrigerants have built-in compatibility with each other. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. Blends like R407 or R404 have precise composition ratios. Mixing different blends or pure refrigerants alters pressure-temperature behavior, resulting in inaccurate superheat of cooling readings. Potential overpressure and damage is also prohibited under EPA guidelines and voids reclaiming potential. Recovery must not mix refrigerants to preserve reclaim standards. RE 100. See EPA 608 Rules on Refrigerant Purity. Question 4. As illustrated by a recent inspection, Gomez discovered a centrifugal chiller leaking R123. The unit has leaked 20% of its charge within a 12-month period. What is she legally required to do next under EPA regulations? A. Shut down the system permanently. B. Refill the charge and continue operation. C. Repair the leak within 30 days or develop a retrofit retirement plan. D. Conduct another leak check after 60 days. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. According to 40 CFR S.157, low-pressure appliances like centrifugal chillers have 10% annual leak rate threshold. If exceeded, repair is mandatory within 30 days unless retrofit retirement plan is documented. Simply recharging the system violates venting and leak management rules. EPA's Enforcement Alert 2017 emphasizes compliance with leak repair deadlines. Question 5. When considering safe refrigerant recovery from a system with a non-operating compressor, which technique is most appropriate for maximizing refrigerant removal? A. Use a system-dependent recovery unit. B. Apply vacuum through the suction line only. C. Recover liquid first, then vapor, using both high and low sides. D. Only use passive recovery methods. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. Per EPA 608 Type I and Roman II requirements for non-operating systems, use both sides of the system to ensure maximum recovery. Liquid from the high side and vapor from the low. System-dependent methods are insufficient in most field conditions, especially for major repairs or when recovering large quantities. See 40 CFR 82.156 and EPA's recovery guidance techniques. Question 6. The underlying principle of oil compatibility dictates that using incorrect oil types with specific refrigerants may result in which of the following system failures: A. Faster thermal expansion in capillaries. B. Excessive subcooling in the evaporator. C. Oil logging in the evaporator and compressor wear. D. Increased condensing pressures. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. Incompatible oil-refrigerant pairs, like using mineral oil with HFCS, result in poor miscibility, leading to oil trapping, logging, and lack of lubrication in the compressor. This causes wear and system inefficiency. PO oils are often required for HFCS. EPA 608 requires technicians to confirm oil compatibility when retrofitting or charging systems are in ASHRAE guidelines. Question 7. Taking into account system evacuation procedures, what could occur if Istolio opens? A system for servicing and skipped proper dehydration using deep vacuum. A. The system will perform normally after recharging. B. Moisture will help increase system pressure. C. Acid formation may damage components over time. D. The compressor will increase cooling capacity. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. Per EPA 608 and ASHRAE Guideline 3, moisture left in the system leads to hydrochloric and hydrofluoric acid formation when it reacts with refrigerant and oil. This corrodes internal components, causes motor winding failure, and leads to compressor burnout. A vacuum of at least 500 microns ensures proper dehydration. Simply recharging a moist system is a major violation. Question 8. What would happen if a technician releases R400 TINA into the atmosphere during maintenance without recovery equipment? A. It will enhance system performance due to fresh air entry. B. It will comply with current EPA venting exemptions. C. It constitutes a violation under Section 608 of the Clean Air Act. D. It is allowed if the system holds less than 5 pounds of charge. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. Venting any refrigerant, including HFCS like R400 TINA, is illegal under the Clean Air Act Section 608, regardless of ozone depletion potential. All refrigerants must be recovered using certified equipment. Exemptions apply only to carbon dioxide, ammonia, and hydrocarbons under specific conditions. EPA enforcement can include penalties of up to $44,539 per day per violation. Question 9. By evaluating the behavior of refrigerants under pressure, why must technicians charge blended refrigerants like R400 as a liquid? A. Liquid charging prevents temperature drop. B. Vapor charging ensures blend separation. C. Vapor charging may cause component freezing. D. Charging as vapor separates the blend's components. Answer. Correct answer. D. Explanation. Blended refrigerants, especially zeotropes, have components with different boiling points. Charging as vapor allows the lighter component to escape first, resulting in fractionation. This alters performance and pressures. EPA and manufacturer guidelines RE Standard 700 mandate liquid charging to maintain proper blend ratio. Use of a metering device when charging liquid into the low side is essential to avoid compressor slugging. Question 10. From the perspective of personal safety, what is the most critical reason technicians should never heat a refrigerant cylinder with an open flame? A. It will make refrigerant recovery faster. B. It reduces the cylinder weight. C. It may cause cylinder explosion or rupture. D. It improves refrigerant purity. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. Heating cylinders with an open flame risks raising internal pressure beyond safe design limits, leading to rupture or explosion. Dot-rated refrigerant cylinders are pressure tested and must never be exposed to direct heat. EPA and OSHA guidelines require the use of warm water baths not exceeding 100 Fortic for this purpose. Refer to CFR Title 49 and EPA safety bulletins. Question 11. With respect to proper evacuation procedures, a technician is servicing a Type O Monroe pressure chiller that previously operated with R123. After recovery, what additional action must be taken before the system can be opened for component replacement? A. Break the vacuum with dry nitrogen to prevent air re-entry. B. Heat the system with a blowtorch to evaporate remaining refrigerant. C. Immediately open the system if it reads 0 sig. D. Pressurize the system with water to check for leaks. Answer. Correct answer. A. Explanation. After recovering refrigerant from a low-pressure system, it is critical to break the vacuum with dry nitrogen to prevent air and moisture from entering the system. This aligns with EPA 40 CFR 82.156 and best practices for minimizing system contamination. Opening the system without this step risks introducing non-condensables and avoiding EPA compliance. Question 12. According to recent studies, why is the use of hydrocarbon (HC) refrigerants like R600 are heavily restricted under EPA 608 despite their debuted? A. They are too expensive for residential use. B. Their lubricants are incompatible with all compressors. C. Their high flammability creates significant safety risks. D. They corrode copper tubing in systems. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. HFC alternatives like hydrocarbon (c.g. R600, R290 have zero op and VETDBU, but they are extremely flammable (ASHRAEA). Their use is restricted by EPA SNAP program and must follow all 60335, 240 and NFPA safety standards. Units must be factory sealed, labeled, and under charge limits to avoid fire explosion hazards. Question 13. During the process of reclaiming refrigerants, a technician mixes R22 with R400 TINA during recovery. What are the implications under EPA regulations? A. The mixture can be stored and used in any system. B. The refrigerants can be separated using on-site recovery tools. C. The mixed refrigerants must be sent to a certified reclaimer for destruction. D. The technician may reuse the mixture in self-contained units. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. Mixing refrigerants renders them non-reusable unless processed by a certified reclaimer under RE 700 standards. EPA 608 mandates that mixed refrigerants must be destroyed or reprocessed. Technicians cannot reuse or recycle them. This avoids system damage, improper pressures, and environmental risk. Refer to 40 CFR 82.154 and reclaim guidelines. Question 14. The traditional approach to leak repair in supermarket refrigeration requires action when a system with 1000 pounds of R404 leaks 175 pounds in a year. What must the technician do to remain compliant? A. Submit a leak variance request. B. Recharge and resume monitoring. C. Conduct leak repair or develop a plan within 30 days. D. No action is required since R404 has no ozone depletion potential. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. Large commercial refrigeration systems with more than 50 pounds charge must not exceed a 20% annual leak rate. A 175 lb leak from 1000 pounds equals 17.5%, which is under the limit, but if the rate ever exceeds 20%, repair must begin within 30 days or a retrofit plan must be submitted. See Fortsefer S. 157 and EPA's compliance guidelines. Question 15. In the context of system compatibility, what issue might arise if PO oil is added to a system originally designed for mineral oil without a complete or flush state? The system will generate high-pressure cutouts. B. PO will clean the coils and improve cooling. C. The mixture may cause oil foaming and acid formation. D. Oil compatibility does not affect performance. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. Mixing PO and mineral oils can cause oil separation, foaming, and poor lubricant return. PO also absorbs moisture easily, promoting acid formation that damages windings and seals. EPA and manufacturer retrofitting protocols require complete flushing before switching oils. Refer to RE 700 and compressor manufacturer guidelines for oil change procedures. Question 16. Given the circumstances surrounding system pressure-temperature relationships, what is the expected behavior of a high glide blend like R407 during phase change? A. The refrigerant maintains constant boiling temperature. B. The blend separates, leaving only high-pressure components. C. There is a temperature glide, causing very boiling and condensing temperatures. D. It acts identically to azeotropic blends like R400 TINA. Answer. Correct answer, C. Explanation. R407 Kirs is a tropic blend with a glide of 10 Nc. It does not boil or condense at single temperature, requiring accurate superheat and subcooling measurement. Ignoring glide may lead to system inefficiency. Use midpoint temperatures on PT charts when charging or diagnosing. CR in EPA technician guidance on zoetropes. Question 17. Upon closer examination of evacuation techniques, which method ensures proper removal of moisture from a refrigeration system before charging? A. Purging the system with refrigerant gas. B. Using a vacuum pump to reach 500 microns or lower. C. Running the compressor during the evacuation. D. Filling the system with nitrogen and leaving it overnight. Answer. Correct answer, B. Explanation. Evacuation to at least 500 microns, 29.9 Inig, ensures moisture removal. Moisture left behind can freeze in expansion devices or form acid. Purging with refrigerant is illegal, venting, and nitrogen alone won't remove moisture. EPA 608 and ASHRAE Guideline 3 recommend micron gauges for verification. Question 18. The Clean Air Act and its requirements impose a universal expectation. What must a technician do before beginning any refrigerant recovery from a system with hermetically sealed components? A. Start the compressor and open the high side valve. B. Verify system pressure exceeds atmospheric pressure. C. Ensure the appliance is operating and then cut the suction line. D. Recover refrigerant using certified recovery equipment. Answer. Correct answer, D. Explanation. Regardless of system size, refrigerant must be recovered using EPA-certified equipment before servicing. Cutting into a sealed system without recovery is a direct violation of Section 608. Even if charge is suspected to be low, recovery is mandatory. Technicians must also be certified to perform recovery. EPA 608 certification required. Question 19. A common misconception about refrigerant cylinder colors can lead to improper handling. What is the EPA stance regarding the reliance on cylinder color coding for refrigerant identification? A. It is legally required to use color-coded cylinders only. B. It is acceptable as long as color follows ISO 5145 standards. C. Technicians must verify contents via label or analysis, not color alone. D. Color coding is more accurate than refrigerant analysis tools. Answer. Correct answer, C. Explanation. The EPA warns against relying solely on color codes because cylinder paints fade and standards change. Labels and refrigerant identifiers must be used. Misidentification can lead to contamination and regulatory violations. Regulations also stress correct labeling over color. 49 CFR Part 100185. EPA 608 compliance demands content verification. Question 20. While examining refrigerant safety procedures, Mr. Bryan is transporting used R22 cylinders in his service van. What requirement must he meet to ensure safety and compliance? A. Leave the cylinder valves open to relieve pressure. B. Secure cylinders in a vertical position and cap them. C. Place them horizontally for maximum stability. D. Transport them without any labels to avoid confusion. Answer. Correct answer, B. Explanation. Rules 49 CFR Subpart B require all refrigerant cylinders to be secured upright, labeled with contents, and capped to prevent valve damage. Laying cylinders down can lead to liquid leaks or rupture. Labels must be visible and legible. EPA and OSHA also require compliance with these transport and handling guidelines for refrigerant containers. Question 21. While servicing a system, Mr. Carter discovers the refrigerant circuit contains a mixture of R22 and an unknown substance. What is the EPA-compliant action to take before proceeding? A. Recover the mixture and dispose of it as hazardous waste. B. Attempt to separate the refrigerants using standard recovery tools. C. Recover the mixture and send it to a certified reclaimer. D. Vent the system to remove contaminated refrigerant. Answer. Correct answer, C. Explanation. Mixed refrigerants must be sent to a certified EPA reclaimer for proper processing or destruction. Standard recovery machines cannot separate mixed refrigerants. Venting any refrigerant is illegal under Section 608 of the Clean Air Act. The mixture cannot be reused or recycled on site. Refer to FORT COFR S.154 and RE 700 purity standards. Question 22. The foundation of proper system dehydration is ensuring all moisture is removed. Which practice would most effectively ensure moisture removal after a major component replacement? A. Purging the system with dry nitrogen and skipping evacuation. B. Performing a triple evacuation with a deep vacuum using a micron gauge. C. Running the compressor and watching for low suction pressure. D. Flushing the lines with water and letting them dry overnight. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Triple evacuation, breaking vacuum with dry nitrogen between pulls helps remove moisture trapped in oil or low spots. A deep vacuum below 500 microns is required for proper dehydration per ASHRAE Guideline 3 and EPA 608 standards. Moisture left in the system forms acids with refrigerants, leading to corrosion and compressor failure. Question 23. During a commercial rooftop AC inspection, Isyon observes that the unit loses 150 pounds of R400 TINA annually from a 600 lb charge. What is the EPA required response under Section 608? A. Recharge and monitor the system monthly. B. Evacuate the system and replace the compressor. C. Repair the leak or develop a retrofit plan within 30 days. D. Report the leak to the EPA and resume normal operation. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. 150 pounds from 600 pounds equals 25% leak rate, which exceeds the 10% threshold for comfort cooling systems 40 CRS.157. The EPA mandates that leaks over the threshold be repaired within 30 days or documented in retrofit retirement plan. Recharging without repair is non-compliant. Reporting to the EPA is required only for certain system types and leak rates. Question 24. What factors contribute to the need for using low-pressure chillers with purge units during operation? A. Purge units improve cooling capacity during peak load. B. Low-pressure systems tend to operate above atmospheric pressure. C. These units are required to remove non-condensables that enter due to system vacuum. D. Purge units are designed to filter out high-pressure refrigerant blends. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. Low-pressure systems, such as those using R123, operate in a vacuum and can draw in air through leaks. Air contains non-condensables, e.g. nitrogen, moisture, reducing efficiency and causing corrosion. Purge units remove these gases. EPA requires monitoring and maintenance to minimize refrigerant loss during purging. See ASHRAE 15 and 4 ESRS.152. Question 25. To better understand the role of oils in system compatibility, which oil type must be used when retrofitting? A. Best system to use HFC refrigerants like R134, A. Mineral oil. B. Alkyl benzene oil. C. Polyester PO oil. D. Silicone oil. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. PO oil is highly miscible with HFC refrigerants like R134, ensuring proper oil return and lubrication. Mineral oil is not miscible with HFCs and cannot be used unless a compatibility additive is applied. PO is also hygroscopic and must be handled carefully. Refer to RE retrofit guidelines and compressor manufacturer specs. Question 26. The effectiveness of pressure temperature charts is highly dependent on using them correctly. How might one explain the inaccurate pressure readings during system diagnosis when using the wrong refrigerant's PT chart? A. Refrigerant properties are identical, so it should not matter. B. Using the wrong chart may mislead subcooling superheat readings, leading to incorrect diagnosis. C. It can help to determine if the system is undercharged regardless of the refrigerant type. D. All refrigerants follow the same boiling and condensing behavior. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Each refrigerant has a unique pressure-temperature relationship. Using the wrong PT chart leads to misreading saturation conditions, resulting in incorrect superheat subcooling calculations and faulty diagnoses. This can cause unnecessary component replacement or improper charge adjustments. Refer to EPA and RE technician guidance on refrigerant-specific charts. Question 27. The core principles of recovery require a technician to stop recovery and isolate a system when what condition is met. A. The cylinder has reached 60% of its rated capacity. B. The system pressure equalizes with ambient pressure. C. The recovery machine indicates maximum vacuum level has been achieved. D. The recovery process exceeds 5 minutes. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. Recovery should continue until the specified vacuum level is reached per system type and condition using a certified recovery device. This indicates that the majority of refrigerant has been removed. EPA required levels for different system types are defined in 40 CFR S.156. Time is not substitute for pressure verification. Question 20. When analyzing safety measures, why is it prohibited to fill refrigerant cylinders beyond 80% of their capacity? A. It maximizes cylinder reuse value. B. It ensures pressure remains stable when exposed to heat. C. It prevents the cylinder from becoming buoyant in transport. D. Improves charging speed for technicians. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Refrigerant expands with temperature. Overfilling can lead to excessive internal pressure, risking explosion or cylinder rupture. And EPA regulations limit fill level to 80% of the water capacity to maintain safe vapor space. See 49 CFR S.301 and EPA refrigerant handling guidelines. Question 29. In the modern context of refrigerant classification, which statement correctly distinguishes HFOS hydrofluorolefins for HFCS? A. HFOS are less flammable than HFCS, but HFOS have higher OP than HFCS. C. HFOS have RW and break down quickly in the atmosphere. D. HFOS are banned under the SNAP program. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. HFOS ICAR 1234 if a classified as AL, mildly flammable with very buoyant short atmospheric lifetimes. They are part of next-gen refrigerants aligned with climate change goals HFCS, while non-flammable, to have hydrophilic and longer atmospheric persistence. HFOS are approved under SNAP with safety limitations all 60335-240. See EPA SNAP program fact sheet. Question 30. What would happen if a technician opened a system with a suspected internal leak without first recovering refrigerant or reducing pressure? A. The compressor would overheat and shut down. B. The system would release non-condensables, improving performance. C. The technician risks refrigerant venting and physical injury. D. The system would continue to operate under vacuum. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. Opening a pressurized system without recovery is dangerous and illegal. Refrigerant may rapidly escape, causing frostbite, eye injury, or respiratory issues. It also violates EPA's no venting rule under Section 608 of the Clean Air Act. Safe servicing requires recovery to EPA specified levels before opening. Refer to EPA refrigerant safety protocols.